My goal was to create a near photoreal forest. I will be able to achieve this by creating prehistoric ecology and environments based on fossils and modern day trees. These examples selected are related to prehistoric plants such as specimens from the conifer family. I have utilised lighting, colour, texturing, compositing and photorealism to achieve the creation of a prehistoric ecology and environment that has not existed for millions of years. This process will help me to create a sense of perceptual realism as the viewers will understand and be immersed within the prehistoric ecology and environment. I have selected 2 movies to be case studies that assisted in my techniques. The film The Jungle Book has influenced my project in how they pushed the digital technical boundaries whilst maintaining a semblance of realism. The film influenced me with its vast, rich array of photoreal CGI jungle foliage, brought to life by the visual effects team and the new methods and workflows of creating a photoreal forest. This is a great help to me as the workflows and techniques shown in The Jungle Book have allowed me to use their methodology and processes as a time-saving measure. Their methodology they created to make this visual effects masterpiece has enabled significant time savings on my creation. The movie Avatar by James Cameron has heavily inspired and guided my use of new technologies such as 3D laser scanning, extensive photogrammetry and new rendering engines. Avatar used an extensive amount of new motion capture filming techniques and new digital technologies. The film utilised these new techniques to captivate the audience and to make the viewer feel like they were in Pandora. The Avatar design team actually visited China and travelled around photographing mountains. These were to get real photos for reference to create Pandora's floating mountains. I have done the same by going to various locations and taking an extensive amount of reference footage for my project. Avatar proved problematic due to their workflows and techniques requiring large amounts of people and time compared to Jungle Book's approach. I used mostly Jungle Book's photorealistic methods due to the workflow requiring less time and was more feasible for a one-man project. Being heavily influenced by the Jungle Book's methodology, Jun and I went to some of the local forests around the Auckland region and we took a large amount of samples including lighting data along with various sound recordings. To accomplish this we used multiple sound recorders placed at strategic locations within our scoped area. This enabled us to recreate the overall sound ambience of the forest. Combined with thousands of reference photos, extensive photogrammetry, we created the basis for our photorealistic forest. Once data was collected and collated, we were able to create a large asset library containing a comprehensive collection of plants, trees and ground assets. This allowed me to conduct prototyping tests for the environmental design and then I started layout planning along with the construction of a real landscape. One of the biggest problems we faced with initial map prototyping was that it was too heavy for the game engine coming in at a staggering 40 kilometres by 40 kilometres. We solved that issue by cutting the map down to 2 kilometres by 2 kilometres. Once the sizing was minimised, I was able to start placing trees, rocks and ground assets along with painting the materials onto the landscape. This workflow was largely used in Jungle Book's forest creation and we used a lesser version for the project. By using this workflow, we streamlined our production process and avoided pitfalls that other approaches could have encountered. Muratowski has highlighted the use of recordings and photos as visual documentation. In my project, I adopted this concept by taking large amounts of photos and sound recordings. Following his guidance, I was able to bring the research material back and create my capstone project. By adopting techniques outlined by Muratowski, that were used in both Avatar and The Jungle Book, I am creating an immersive and photorealistic forest environment.